The hospital coffee was bitter, metallic, barely warm in its flimsy cup, but I clutched it like a lifeline. The waiting room's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sterile glow that did nothing to thaw the ice in my veins. Dr. Hensley, a tired but kind man, had scrounged the coffee from a machine older than my childhood home. My wife, Emily, sat beside me, her hand cold but steady in mine. Our daughter, Sophie, was down the hall, her bright smile dulled by pain and confusion. Those big eyes of hers, usually sparkling with joy, were wide with fear. The pediatrician, Dr. Larson, had been gentle but clear. Dehydration, scratches in her throat, all from the Pebbles. Smooth, gray river stones tucked into the mashed carrots and chicken I'd packed for her lunch. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them, glinting like some sick joke. Sophie was tougher than most. Born with cerebral palsy, she'd been fighting since day one, slow in her movements, deliberate in her words, but never weak. Emily whispered, "She'll be okay, de VYD." Her voice trembled, but she was my anchor. I nodded, throat too tight for words. A night of fluids, observation, and Sophie would pull through. She always did. But this wasn't an accident. This was deliberate, cruel, and it started at the community center. I'd been in the middle of a special victims unit briefing when my phone buzzed. Mr. Callahan, the gruff old guy who ran the Silver Pines Social Club, sounded panicked. "Commander Bennett, it's Sophie. And Helen Carver. You need to get here." Helen Carver, the iron-fisted head of the Willow Grove Homeowners Association, was a name I knew too well. She ruled our neighborhood with bylaws sharper than a blade, her newsletters dripping with passive-aggressive jabs about unmowed lawns or unacceptable mailbox colors. We'd had our run-inshers sniffing about the shade of our fence, too close to ivory for her liking, or Sophie's rainbow wind chimes, which she called a VY Sewell nuisance. Annoying but petty. Nothing like this. I stormed into the community center's bright, active VY tie room, and the world froze. Kids stared, silent. Mr. Callahan shielded Sophie, who whimpered, her hands at her mouth. Food smeared on her bib. Helen stood there in a crisp green tracksuit, arms crossed, her face smug with self-righteousness. Sophie's custom tray, waited to help her eat, sat on the table. The compartment for her main course was filled with Pebbles. She was eating too slowly, Helen declared, loud enough for everyone to hear. Holding up the other kids, making a mess. This'll teach her to be considerate. Rage hit me like a freight train. My fists clenched, every instinct screaming to shake her until her smug grin cracked. But I'm a cop. I've seen the worst of humanity, and I know control. "Mr. Callahan," I said, voice low, "call 911. Report a child assaulted. Possible poisoning." Helen scoffed. "Don't be absurd. It's just stones. Discipline. Something you and your wife clearly don't pro-VYDA." Emily arrived then, her face pale but fierce as she rushed to Sophie. I focused on getting our girl out, to the hospital, away from this monster. The Pebbles were bagged as EVY Denke. The responding officer, a rookie named Torres, went from confused to grim as the story unfolded. Back at the hospital, the adrenaline faded, Leah VYing a heavy, burning anger. How could anyone look at Sophie, her VY Cybele struggles, her quiet strength, and do this? I should have seen it, I thought, staring at the chipped floor. Helen snide comments, her glares at Sophie. "The VYD know," Emily said, squeezing my hand. "This isn't your fault. She's unhinged." She was right. My job was hunting predators, the ones who preyed on the vulnerable. I'm Commander de VYD Bennett, SVU. I deal with monsters. I just never thought one would be filling my daughter's lunch with rocks in our sunny community center. This wasn't just cruelty, it was felony child abuse, nutritional sabotage. Helen Carver was now my case. Morning came, and Sophie was sipping juice, watching cartoons in her hospital bed, her spirit bouncing back. I walked into the precinct, the smell of stale coffee and toner sharpening my focus. Detective Lisa Monroe, my right hand, looked up, her eyes sharp. "How's Sophie?" she asked. "She's okay. Shaken, but okay. They're releasing her soon." "And Carver?" I leaned in, voice flat. "She's about to have a bad day." I want everything financials, priors, complaints from other HOAs. Everything. Lisa nodded. Personal, Commander. It got personal when she forced rocks down my daughter's throat. But we do this by the book. Felony child abuse, endangerment, nutritional sabotage. Dig into Willow Grove's bylaws, too. I want to know how much power she's got. I paused. And I need a uniform with me when I interview her. I don't trust myself alone with her. Admitting that stung, but it was honest. The father in me wanted blood. The cop had to stay in control. Sophie came home, quieter than usual, clinging to Emily. We wrapped her in her weighted blanket, surrounded her with her favorite books. I hit the neighborhood, starting with Mr. Larson, a retired teacher tending his roses. "DVYD, I heard about Sophie." "Awful," he said. "Has Helen ever overstepped with you?" He hesitated. "She's particular. Last summer, she made Mrs. Alvarez drain her bird bath. Said it attracted undesirable birds. It broke her heart. Her late husband built it. Anything with kids? Vulnerable people?" He frowned. "She tried to ban young Joey Parker's curb walking. He's autistic, likes his routine. She called it unsettling. The HOA shot it down, but it was bullying." Mrs. Alvarez confirmed the birdbath story, her voice trembling. "It wasn't just that. After my Eduardo died, she sent letters about his garden. Threatened fines. No help, just rules." Her eyes met mine. "She hurt your Sophie, didn't she?" "Stop her, Commander." The pattern was clear. Helen targeted the weak, the different, anyone who couldn't fight back. It wasn't just control, it was malice. Back at the precinct, Lisa had dirt. No criminal record, but Helen had left a trail of complaints in 2 other HOA harassment, power abuse, even a settled misappropriation case, record sealed. "She wears out her welcome, then moves to a new fiefdom," Lisa said. "This time it's over." I headed to Helen's house, a pristine colonial with a lawn so perfect it looked fake. Officer Torres stood by me as I rang the bell. Helen opened the door, her smile fading to a frown, then a flicker of nerves when she saw Torres. "Commander Bennett," she said, voice tight. "What's this about?" "Yesterday. My daughter. The Pebbles." She waved a hand. An overreaction. I was teaching discipline. She was disruptive. Disruptive? I kept my voice soft, dangerous. By eating her specialized lunch? You knew her needs. You put stones in her food. She needed medical care. That's assault. Child endangerment. Torres shifted, his presence a quiet warning. Helen flushed. It was harmless. A lesson. Harmless. I stepped closer. She was terrified. In pain. "We're pursuing felony charges, Helen. Nutritional sabotage, too. BVY Denke is solid." Her face paled. "Felony? I'm a respected community member." "Respected members don't harm disabled kids," I said, ice cold. "You'll hear from us through your lawyer." We left her in her doorway, her perfect world cracking. Torres glanced at me. "Think she'll lawyer up fast?" "Oh yeah," I said. "But she's not slipping out of this." Days blurred statements, reports, Dr. Larson's medical notes. I stepped back from leading the case, letting Lisa take point to avoid bias. But I was the complainant, the witness. The HOA was trickier. At an emergency meeting, Helen stayed away, likely on legal advice. The board, Tim, the accountant, nervous Ellen, and retired Colonel Harper looked spooked. "This is troubling," Tim muttered. "Complaints have been made." "Complaints?" I said, calm but firm. "My daughter was poisoned by your president." "What's your response?" Ellen wrung her hands. "We don't condone violence, but Helen. She runs everything." "Does that include the finances?" I asked. Lisa's dig had flagged odd landscaping charges, areas Helen controlled. Colonel Harper bristled. "She's still president. Is she?" I shot back. "Check your bylaws for Remo VY, a criminal board member." The community was waking up. News of the Pebbles spread, turning whispers into outrage. Sophie, meanwhile, grew anxious near the Math Bihu Center. We started therapy, a kind woman helping her draw her fears. Emily and I doubled down, surrounding her with love. But Helen fought back. Her lawyer, Victor Slade, a slick type, called the accusations slanderous, painting Helen as a volunteer under attack. Then came anonymous CPS calls, questioning our parenting. The caseworker, Ms. Harper, was fair but thorough, and the intrusion burned. She's trying to scare us, I told Emily, fists clenched. It won't work, she said, fierce. Helen's next move was a newsletter, spinning herself as a VY Tim of my vendetta. Some bought it, but Larson and Alvarez rallied, sharing their stories. The real bombshell came from Lisa. In Helen's old HOA, Pine Ridge, she'd been treasurer. Money vanished, settled quietly, record sealed. She's not just a bully, Lisa said, sliding a redacted settlement across my desk. She's a thief. Willow Grove's books show the same tricks, fake invoices, shell companies. The Pebbles weren't just cruelty. They were a desperate lashing out, Helen's empire crumbling. We leaked the Pine Ridge details to Colonel Harper, anonymously. The HOA meeting was electric, the hall packed. Emily sat near the back, her presence my strength. Sophie was home, safe. Helen swept in with Slade, smug as ever. The meeting droned through minutes, then Harper stood, voice like steel. We've received disturbing information about President Carver's past and our finances. An audit starts now. Helen gasped. Slade leapt up. This is an outrage. Sit down, Harper snapped. This is credible. Helen pointed at me, shaking. This is his doing. He's poisoning you over that unfortunate incident. I stood, voice steady. Unfortunate? You put rocks in my disabled daughter's food, Helen. You're facing felony charges. The word felony hit like a bomb. Mrs. Alvarez stood. Was it concern when you threatened me over my husband's garden? Or tried to ban Joey Parker's walks? Larson joined her. Or complained about Sophie's wind chimes? One by one, voices rose, stories of barking dogs, obstructive strollers. Helen's control shattered. This is a witch hunt, she shrieked. You're jealous of my dedication. Dedication to what? I stepped forward. Yourself? We have EVY Denke, Helen. And the authorities are curious about Pine Ridge. Her eyes widened. Slade looked blindsided. He tried to adjourn, but the doors opened. Lisa walked in, 2 officers behind her. Helen Carver, she said, you're under arrest for felony child abuse and nutritional sabotage. Handcuffs clicked. Helen's defiance melted into fear. The room erupted in applause. Helen was booked, her bail set high. The HOA ousted her, launching a full audit. Neighbors rallied, helping Alvarez's garden while VYing a Joey. Sophie's therapy helped her smile again, though the shadows lingered. The trial was a spectacle. Slade spun Helen as a misunderstood volunteer, even claiming the Pebbles were accidental. The prosecutor tore it apart. My testimony was measured, Emily's raw. Callahan, Alvarez, and others painted Helen's tyranny. The jury didn't hesitate. Guilty. 5 to 7 years. Restitution for Sophie's therapy and the HOAs. Her house was seized, her empire dust. Willow Grove healed. A new board, led by Harper, prioritized community. A fair brought Sophie's laughter back, her face bright in a sensory-friendly zone. Our family grew stronger, Sophie's spark returning. The day Helen's house sold, the new owners painted their mailbox a bold purple. No one cared. Sophie's wind chimes sang, a quiet VY Tory. The neighborhood breathed again, connected, free, but questions linger. Was Helen pure EVYL, or a product of unchecked power? Should the HOA system, breeding petty tyrants, be scrapped? Could Sophie's pain have been avoided if we'd acted sooner? What would you have done in my shoes faced a monster harming your child? Share your thoughts, like, subscribe, and let's talk. Justice was served, but at what cost?